Start. Go live. Go live. Go live. Peace and love, kings, queens, and guys. Come on in, invite a friend, because the Floating Yogis Book Club is about to begin. And if you don't know, we're reading how yoga works. Now, I'm not necessarily going to tell you how yoga works. You got to read the book. We're going to read the story. Hey, what up? Welcome. What's good, Jackie? I ain't seen you in a minute. We still got classes. I want to see you flowing again. Hopefully you still got the home practice rocking. Anyway, we reading how yoga works. It's an interesting book and puts the yoga practice into perspective on a health and wellness basis. If you want to be part of the book club, I encourage you to sign up on the link that is at the bottom, courses.uedc.com, and you can sign up for the free account. It has all the information on it, all the free services and classes, everything from the perinatal series that G's released, to soon-to-be breathwork, meditation, and just so much more. So tap in. With that being said, as I always say, and as I just did say, come on in, invite a friend. Matter of fact, invite about 10, because it's my time to go and send out some invites. And while I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the people who help me help me do what I do. We got my dude, Payoga. He's part of the crew. DJ Tony is from a dimension where people are our greatest resource, and damn it, he is one of them. I highly encourage you to check him out, to tap in with him and see how he can be an asset to you. Maybe it's a prayer in the morning, a moment, but I'm going to have him let you know, I'm going to have him tell you about what he does, what he got going for you, and how you can tap in and be part of the growth game.
All right, you want the short version, the medium version, or the long version?
Short version, rock 'em.
All right, short version. I am Tony Payoga, DJ Tony, and I'm coming to you live because I'm helping out my man Jarrick. I decided I'm going to start meditating. I believe in the product. I believe in the person, and so I became a good resource because I know I can be a good resource because I love people. I believe in people. I live and I will die by people. And so, if you go to UE.DC, you will see one of the greatest things you can do for yourself, which is spending some time in your mind, moving and meditating. Check in if you are moving and meditating, and hit it. If not, hit stuck and stagnant. Either way, you join the growth gang and you get a shout out the next day. Join the community, stop doom scrolling for just a hot second to move and meditate, and we'll see you on IG when you do.
Ooh, that was good. And don't forget to tap in, but he got the daily, the Monday through Friday. I ain't gonna say daily. Yeah, the Monday through Friday breathwork prayer.
Actually, I'm officially daily now. Like, something hit me hard. Something hit me hard last week, and it was a meme. It said, "Y'all making fun of people with 12 followers on Twitch. You know how exciting it would be to have 12 people in real life show up to be with you?"
Come on now.
And I have 100 people a day watching the video. I get at least, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reactions, love, likes, whatever a day. I usually get a comment every other day. And so, over the course of a week, I've got way more than 12 people around me. And I'm over here comparing myself to other people instead of comparing myself to what I'm really trying to do, which is to prove that people are our greatest resource. It's not enough to just believe it. I gotta live it, and I'm living it, and I'm proving it.
We gotta live it. We gotta do it. Dang, going it, man.
So, yep, Sunday through Saturday.
So, make it happen. Maybe you need a moment, something's going on. Just tap in. I just encourage you to tap in. You might just get a laugh, and a smile is worth your time. All right. Because we're going to talk about that, because we were talking about smiles last week, and how smiles opens up the sinuses, right? And opens up those passages for the ida and the pingula, right? But, you know, we to the book. What up, Shelby? Alright, so we're on chapter 12, Breath and Heart. I like this chapter because it puts some of the breath and heart. It puts some of the breath work stuff into like a palatable form. Okay, so she's still locked up. Chapter 12, second week of May. Before our next lesson, the captain and I talked some more about breath. I felt like we should, because there was such a strong connection between this breath and the inner winds that choked and hurting him from the bottom of his back. Now, about the breath, the master also says, observe too the place in the body, the duration, and the count. What he means first of all about watching the place in your body is that as you do your poses or other practices, you should have very conscious control about which part of your body you're using to breathe with. In most cases, you get the most fresh air the most easily if you breathe by moving your diaphragm, the big sheet of muscle that closes in the top of your rib cage. So the diaphragm, boom, like the top of the top of the abs. That would be the diaphragm. Use that to expand, to draw the breath in. We're creating space internally. So if you follow along with my YouTube videos, you'll hear me say inhale, expand, exhale, compress, and that's where that comes from. We want the breath to lead the movement, and each breath is a movement, and each movement is a breath. So then we can stay in flow. And, you know, it gets saucy with that. Once the breath is in flow, and once we can find ourselves in flow, and it's so consistent on like such a consistent basis, we're able to tap into the flow state and just with the breath. Sometimes you'll notice, like, let's say you play a sport and you might have to have a certain pair of shoes on because the way it feels gets you in the zone and gets you locked in. For me, I shoot pool, so having my pool stick, I know the way it feels. I got a bump right here. I know it's there. Boom, that's what I'm looking for. That's the spot. Perfect shot. So it's these things that familiarity. So when we think about like inhale to expand, where in the body is creating space? Where's the breath going? Where are we sending that fresh oxygen, the prana, or whatever else may be in there? Where are we sending it to? And as far as compression and inhale and exhale, we don't want the muscles to be tense for the inhale especially, because that's going to make it harder for them to expand, to draw in more breath. You get what I'm saying? So I ain't going to go too deep on this here, because you got to come to the workshop, because we're going to be rapping about it. August 17th, you can check it out. G and I, this is like her first workshop back that she's teaching. We're going to be co-hosting a workshop, Journey Through Ashtanga, Exploring Mysore. We're going to talk about the practice. We're going to talk about where it came from. We're also going to get a good idea of how the poses can be used, how the breath is, what is this thing that they talk about. No, we're going to show you the system. We're going to give you a nice little snapshot of the system. And it's ways that you can come in person. Maybe it's at Sun and Moon Yoga, maybe it's at Flow Yoga in DC, or maybe you're just following along on YouTube. And you can start to integrate these little shifts and changes in your life. Watch how it changes everything else. Watch how it spirals. No more constricting your muscles to breathe so you have more energy because you didn't realize you were straining yourself your entire life. But like I said, we'll get there. Hey, what up, Mike?
Mike the Mind Mogul.
You mentioned how the breath is connected with the movement.
Mm-hmm.
When they misaligned, there are a bunch of options.
Okay.
You can try to push through. You can start over, pause, restart wherever you left off. You can take extra breaths. I find that from my experience of doing the sun salutations less than a year now, with a 90% consistency rate, I'll give it. When we first talked about a month ago, I think, you said if you're not breathing, then you recommend doing it again. No, it was like a week ago. You said if you're not breathing, you recommend doing it again. That's unlikely, to be honest. So, I've started doubling up on the breath. So I guess my question is, am I being trifling, or is that a lot?
What is
like if I notice? Okay, so my problem, or what I feel when I feel misaligned most of the time, is that because I'm straining, or because I'm breathing too fast, or because I'm not able to breathe deep enough, or because whatever, it's very shallow breathing, and I'm rushing the breathing, which would cause me to rush the movements, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, that's real. I would say speed up the movement a little bit. Speed up the movement to match the breath. Once you can lock in, then start to slow it down. But lock in first. Not
so pause and lock in?
No, just speed it up. Like if your breath, like my inhale, I have a ridiculous breath count, yo. Like
that? I feel that's why number 4 on the sun cells is stupid long.
I have a ridiculous
Number 4 on the
breath.
sun cells is so long. I do my 5 breaths, and then you say, now's the time to explore. Reach over and grab the right ankle, and like after my 5 breaths, then you say, now's the time to explore. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Eventually, one of these
I'm
days.
sorry, this is book club. I need to stay focused.
Nah, I'm with it. Eventually, one of these days, down dog ain't gonna suck that bad. But you know, it takes a bit.
I already told that down dog doesn't suck. I feel like downward dog, I can actually catch my breath. That's not a problem. Because there's 5 breaths in downward dog, first off. And because I've done it long enough I can choose to stretch my shoulders or stretch my heels.
Yeah.
Because I've like I said, like almost a year, maybe 90% consistency. But it's the float into it, the up, the down, look at the belly button, the breathe there, and then find the 4 corners and the tip of the nose to the upward dog, and then to the downward dog. Like it's those. I could probably micromanage it down to like 12 different movements if I felt like it. If I felt like overthinking it, like I like to do when I meditate, I love trying to overthink things when I meditate because it's so hard to do it right.
Whew, yeah. Keep meditating. You're going to tire yourself out one of these days. And then it's going to be like, click, turn on the juice. The great thing is you're sticking with it. And as you're sticking with it, you're noticing, you're realizing different awareness that's happening. Like, oh, I can choose to stretch my shoulders. I can choose to stretch through the heels. A lot of that comes from being with the breath. Once you were able to sit in down dog, you're able to see these things. Once the body stopped stressing and straining and fighting, then it was like, oh, I can do this.
I just realized on Monday, because today's Wednesday, that I can like kick up my leg more than 90 degrees now. Like, and I'm like, oh, so really, if I just keep kick my leg one time, once a day, for a year, I'm good? Okay. Like,
I try to tell people, I'm like, yo, I'm not really trying to get you to do much. I ain't even asking you to do the sequence. I'm just saying rock these sun salves. That's all I'm saying. Just rock these sun salves 15 minutes. Then go do the run, go to the gym. You ain't even really going to need it because of the way that it activates the organs when the organs start running and activating well, the metabolism picks up. It's so much more to it than just, oh, I did my workout for the day. Yeah, it's not that, buddy. It's not that, buddy. Alright. Yeah, thanks. Alright. What he means, first of all, about watching the place in your body is that as you do your poses or other practices, you should have very conscious control about which part of your body you're using to breathe with. In most cases, you get the most fresh air most easily if you breathe by moving your diaphragm, the big sheet of muscle that closes in the bottom of your rib cage. The captain looked with a little uncertain. I held my hand on his chest and said, try to take a few breaths without making my hand move. Try it. Bring your hand to your chest. And try to breathe without letting the hand move. Maybe that means you breathe to the belly, drawing that out. Maybe it means you breathe to the back, to the traps. Right? We can send the breath through different parts of our body. I like to say, touch your heart, breathe to it. Feel it lift. Then move it to another place. Breathe to it. Feel it lift. The concept of, yeah, that's some teaching stuff. Come to a teacher training if you want some info on why the book is saying do it this way. Alright. He fidgeted a little and then stuck his tummy way out to take a breath. I giggled a bit, but I could also see that his stomach was getting leaner and more flat. Right idea, a bit off on the location, I said. Try a little higher up and concentrate on the place just below your ribs. He did, and it went fine. That's best for deep breathing, I said. It's also a way of keeping the whole area around your tummy, especially down around your waist and below that, firm and strong. As you go through your poses, strength there is a very powerful effect on your lower back, helping it immensely in holding up your entire upper body. All this in turn prevents tie-ups and major choke points in your lower back, all the way down through your lower organs of digestion and excretion and the reproductive organs, and the different parts of the legs themselves. So we're going to have a workshop on that, on the bandhas. There's three bandhas, three main bandhas. There's a bunch of them, but there's three main bandhas. And those are what we're going to talk about and ways to implement them in the day-to-day life to help correct posture. But yeah, belly button in, Kegels. Now there's also poses that tie up the diaphragm and force you to send the breath to other parts of your lungs to keep them healthy and well fed with fresh air. One pose like this is named after the wise man Marici, where you've got your foot up against your belly and the only way you can breathe is if you move your ribs, said the captain. That's a pose called Marichiasana. Yeah, Marichiasana. There's B and D, come to my source, sun and moon, and you'll see these things. Or, Google's a thing. You can Google it. You can Google it. Alright. Right, I said. Now, you can also send the breath to your mind, to a part of your body where you're not so strong yet, to give you a sort of an energy boost. You mean that, say, when I'm doing that warrior of excellence thing, trying to bend my knees with my legs wide apart and my thighs are shaking and I feel like I'm going to flop down on the bottom, then I could pretend to send my legs a burst of power when I take in a big breath. I smiled. It was a perfect example. I couldn't shake the feeling that he knew more about yoga than he was letting on. Right again. And then, of course, a final place in your body where you can imagine sending the power of your breath is right into the choke points itself. For you, right in the center, located at your lower back. So you're getting the concept, right? You could just send the breath to these different parts of your body. These poses allow you to realize how you can send the breath to different places. Simple, right? So do your down dog, do your up dog. It makes it easier. You'll find it, feel it. Oh, like a rider upon a horse. No, that's not what I was. You just picture the energy of breath flowing down and freeing up the middle channel where the two side channels are choking it. You see the knot where the crisscross loosening up and the inner winds in the center begin to flow again. You can do this, in fact, anytime you stretch any part of your body, but especially where you have some kind of problem. You can do it at any time, at any part of your body. And because your thoughts are actually tied to your inner winds, I paused for him. Like a rider upon a horse, he filled in, then it really is true that picturing your back loosening up, getting better again, can actually help it happen. As you do your poses, this is one of the big secrets to how yoga really works. Use your mind, connect the mind. When you're in the pose, if you act and think like, if you think and act like, scrunch face like everything's hard, you're telling your body that everything is hard. You're making the process more challenging.
But SIBOs work over 50% of the time.
I ain't say it. I'm just saying. Now, the master says too that you have to watch the duration of your breath. How long it takes to get a full breath in and then a full breath out. Which is to say, how fast you're breathing. I agree with the full breath in and the full breath out. Totally, like how you were saying, sometimes the breath can be shallow.
Shallow.
Yeah, sometimes the exhale can be shallow, or just as shallow as the inhale. And it creates an imbalance of carbon dioxide and oxygen within us, and that throws us off as well. So, fresh air, let's do it. If the whole point is to have a peaceful effect on the inner winds, then I guess you'd want to breathe as slowly as possible, observed the captain. That's true, but to a point, I went on. It's not really so important how fast or slow you breathe, but rather that your breathing is deep and rhythmic, without any gasping or panting, no broken starts and stops, no ragged edges. At the beginning, when you're still not used to things, then you'd want to breathe a little faster, or else you'd start gasping, which again would put pressure on the choke points in your major channels. As you get looser and stronger as you practice steadily, then you can start slowing your breath down, still trying to make sure that both your in-breaths and your out-breaths are deep and regular. Then, if you get into a pose that is still difficult for you, and your body needs more fuel, you purposefully speed your deep breaths up to feed it. And in the end, the point is control. That whether you breathe fast or slow is a decision to do so, to get maximum benefit for the channels wherever they happen to be. Right? You picking up what he putting down, what she putting down? Let me take a sip real quick.
You can apply it outside of the practice. One of the main things that I got about meditation to share is that in the same way I have to ignore my thoughts or just recognize them and let them pass when I'm meditating, is the exact same way I have to recognize them and let them pass when I'm trying to listen to somebody speak. Instead of waiting to make my own point, it's the exact same feeling.
Yeah. Legit right there. That I feel that. There ain't nothing to add. That's spot on. Okay. And then lastly, here the master talks about counting. About ways of measuring how long you maintain a pose, for example. Or how long you take to inhale, exhale, or to hold a breath. The first one we can do, obviously, just by counting how many breaths we take holding a finished pose. And different poses are best done for different lengths of time, for a different total number of breaths. For most poses, it's enough to hold them for 5 or 6 breaths. I remember that when I began doing yoga poses with my own teacher, it didn't seem like enough to me. it felt like if I held a pose for a lot more breaths, then my legs or whatever would just stretch out an inch or two more the same day. But that's not the way it works. The only way to stretch the body and free up the channels is slow and steady. Brief efforts at points all over the body, day after day, because they're all connected. And of course, there are certain poses like where you put your feet straight up in the air and over your shoulders that only really help the channels if you hold them for a longer count. There are things that we have to watch and count for too. Not just how long we hold a pose, but also how long it takes us to breathe in and breathe out. This is because, for the pose at least, you get the best rhythm by watching to make sure that your out breath takes the same amount of time as your in breath, no longer or shorter. Notice it's the out breath. We get real comfy with the inhale, but letting things go is kind of tricky.
I listened to some meditation thing this past week that said, as long as you exhale more than you inhale, you'll activate the sympathetic nervous system or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything along those lines? Oh, just straight up?
Yeah.
100%?
Roughly.
So
yeah.
like anytime I just want to calm down, all I gotta do is exhale more than I inhale, and it should be able to help push me in that direction.
Roughly. Don't short the inhale. Elongate the exhale. Fair enough.
Make that a sound bite.
The inhale is the energy. The inhale is the energy. Waiting to exhale is you're holding all of that energy in. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm at the top, I'm about to blow. And then the exhale is, yeah.
Wasn't that Vivica A. Fox? Yeah. Oh, it was Denzel. It was good.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett, Whitney Houston. Okay, never mind. Wait, that's it. Gotcha. We was at, you can measure this like on the numbers you find, I think.
On the let go. Okay, so you got something with the let go. You like, hold up, I ain't trying to hold on to too much. I'm going to be a light heart right here. We're going to be a light spirit over here. I'm aligned with the exhale. I feel that. I feel that. I'm with it. Ooh, silent sitting. Ooh, that's the next one. Ooh, I got ahead of myself. My bad, y'all. My bad. Okay.
Stay on the page left. What's wrong with you?
You can measure this by counting the numbers in your mind, but then you might have trouble paying attention to other things, like whether you feel a channel straightening out as you stretch an arm or a leg. One easy option is to just connect it to your heartbeat. Either the feel of the beating in your chest or listening to its count in your ears. And then you can watch to see that your in-breaths take so many heartbeats and your out-breaths take the same number of heartbeats. This really helps prevent the common mistake of not getting too old, stale air out with every breath, because if you keep this mistake up for a whole session, the extra air kept inside begins again to put the pressure on the very place in the channels where you're trying to relieve the pressure. Right?
I set that right up.
That's why I was like, dang, the book's good, because it be hitting all the questions and all the things people be thinking about and asking, well, what about this? Well, how about, yeah. Welcome. Come on in, invite a friend. Matter of fact, invite him out 10, because we've been going in. Alright. This habit of staying aware of the count, of making sure that the out breaths take the same number of heartbeats as the in breath, also begins to carry over into your everyday life. Say while you're working at your desk or facing a tense situation, it relaxes you. It helps keep you from choking off your inner channels in the first place. The captain let out a big sigh. I can hardly remember what pose I'm supposed to do next, and now there's something else that I have to think about. I'm gonna run that back for everyone who's come to my store and was like, yo, there's more. The captain let out a big sigh. I can hardly remember what pose I'm supposed to do next, and now there's something else I have to think about? Practice. I said, sounding like Katrina myself, practice. And then I took him through a really tough poses just so I could have the pleasure of stopping him when he started to gasp and remind him about rhythmic breathing. This is all part of the teacher's job, to keep the student's mind as flexible as their joints. And I thought you should know that too, for the next time your teacher has you puffing. Right? I'm for sure not going to do silent sitting. Because we're going to do learn how to sit and silent sitting and learn how to sit together.
We only got 15 minutes till 9:30.
Yeah, we ain't doing that. But next week we're going to do silent sitting and free kindness. No, that's not right. Silent sitting and learn how to sit. We're going to learn how to meditate, y'all. We're going to talk about it. So, if you like what you read, if there's something interesting, I encourage you to sign up on the website, uedc.com, and tap into the daily movement, meditation, accountability, tap into the book club, tap into the Ashtanga Mysore Sun and Moon Yoga at Floating Yoga Center, tap into the, what's that thing called? Midday Mind Right Thursday at 12, tap into on the 31st of July. You can check me out with chakra balancing sound meditation at Adose Wellness at the High Vibe House. This Sunday you can catch me at Sun and Moon Yoga with China. We're doing the sound bath. Tickets are almost sold out. I think we might have like 10 left or something like that. That's a little ambitious, but I encourage you to check it out and sign up. We got some fire for y'all this time. Oh my god! Each one just gets better. What else is there? Yo, there's a lot. It's gonna be in the newsletter, so just sign up. Check in with the sponsors, check in with the partners, and become part of the growth gang, y'all. Peace and love, kings, queens, and gods.